This is a 3rd and 5 for Middle Tennessee State against the Gopher defense, and this play ends up being an interception for a touchdown. And I wanted to take a look at this play, not only to go through the route combinations that Middle Tennessee is running and how the Gophers defended, but also to point out this is an example of a significant change from coaching staffs, the strategies that are used. Previous staff at Minnesota in situations like this almost exclusively ran man press coverage. So you would have seen, had this been the previous staff, forward wide receivers here, 3 of them would have been in, Gophers would have probably defended with press coverage. They probably would have left the slot with, shallow coverage from the safety, in which case, would have been defended quite differently. So as it stands, the new staff has been running quite a bit of zone coverage, which is what happens here. And a good part about that is it does allow the safeties to roam a little bit, and in this case, actually make a good read on the play and step in front of a pass and able to intercept it. So what Middle Tennessee is trying to accomplish here is they're trying to take this receiver and run him up the field in order to get this defensive back playing deep, and also this man in coverage to commit 2 onto this player. So he's going to run a deep pattern. They're trying to get 2 defenders to take this, and then they're going to run a crossing route underneath that with these 2 players, and he's going to look for, the idea is to run this defender playing deep, run this guy off so that these 2 defenders are crossing over the middle and make this defensive back choose one or the other, and then the quarterback will hit the other that's open. As it stands, this safety ends up making a good read on the play. He actually reads the routes, ends up coming up and stepping in front of the pass. So let's take a look at the next frame. It's going to be a little bit difficult to see because you can see on the far left part of the frame, this is the wide receiver that again is taking an inside release but running upfield in hopes of running the safety out. You can barely see him, but this is the safety just off the screen here, and he's actually reading these 2 receivers as opposed to this one. He's identifying this as the crossing route. He knows the down and distance is 3rd and 5, so he's just diagnosing the play. So as it stands, the Gophers do let 2 receivers go in man coverage, or at least in single coverage deep. So if they had wanted, they could have thrown deep into single coverage. But what they want is 3rd and 5. Again, you have a crossing route here. They want to hit one of these guys for whichever one is open. And as I said, the safety is going to read that, diagnose it, and step in front. So it's a good read by this safety. These 2 linebackers, again, are dropping into zone in order to take anything underneath, a check down. And again, these routes are designed to run, underneath the safeties and beyond the linebackers. So take a look at the next frame. You can see these are the crossing players, and this is the defender, of course, that steps in front of the pass, having read the quarterback and is able to pick it up. As I mentioned, had we been in man press coverage, more than likely that safety would have stayed deep, would not have been aggressive to step in front of something like that, because he would have been last help, on anything deep, and had to keep things in front of him. So it does give him a little bit of freedom to read and react and diagnose the play, and he makes a nice read on it. And then lastly, just wanted to point out that this, was an interception, would have came back a ways, but ends up picking up 2 really nice blocks from the defense coming downfield. The quarterback actually made a great effort to get over and try and stop the pick 6, but he gets picked up by one of the linebackers who gets upfield on a block, and then actually this defender, this guy's has a beeline on the intercepting player, and he ends up cutting him off. So 2 nice blocks just to point out that make this a pick 6. So it ends up being a touchdown.